1, 2, 3, 4. This is a mic test. This is a mic test. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still here. Mic test. This is a mic test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's one of the members of the audience, equipped with his bucket full of Colonel Sanders chicken. When did you buy that chicken? Yeah. I see. You've been here how long? Would you like to say a few words for us here? This is a mic test. It's all right, but I'm getting tired of talking. Tell me something about that.
Let me know if I'm going to walk.
About the chicken.
In your first email, you mentioned to me that growing up, you didn't even know if these tapes were real. And so if you could expand on that a little bit.
Well, I mean, there was a long period of time where I didn't know Robert Stone Jordan from the time I was 3 until the time I was probably 15. I think he made one appearance, and I'm not even certain about that. I know there were a couple phone calls and some letters. But around the time I was 14 or 15, his mother passed away, and he reconnected with my mother at the funeral, and then there was a meeting scheduled, and I met him. At which point I started to hang out a little bit with him. He was living here in California in Marina del Rey. And when he first talked about the Leon shows and these tapes, you know, my dad was a very colorful, devious personality, and I absolutely didn't believe any of it. He would never show them to me, or he wouldn't for a long time. And then he also said he was filming Elton John and other various artists that he would drive around in a van that he constructed. And finally, after a year or so, he actually sat me down and showed me some of these tapes. He was never in them. I never saw the freezer, what is the freezer tape? But I saw tapes of Leon shows. But he was never in them, so even at that point, I wasn't actually sure that he had anything to do with it, because I had caught this man in 100 lies, so there was no reason to believe it. But then eventually I started seeing photographs of him and Leon and him, and then I would meet other people who would corroborate these crazy tales. And so in fact, he obviously did these things, but I just didn't believe it.
Can you give me a little background? Okay, this is for the uninitiated. There was a connection that you made in the movie. This movie made kind of a connection to you because this was kind of a biographical piece of your father. And you mentioned part of the plot in the story. You were talking about a family secret buried out in the desert. And I was just wondering if you could expound on how this played any kind of a role, or if you did or didn't.
Well, that's interesting. I'm not sure. I think it was that idea. I was writing the script for many, many years, and the idea of something buried in the desert was in the very, very first incarnations of the story, and where it came from, I think, for us the movie's pretty much for me about trying to find a lost connection, trying to find some way in which two individuals can touch one another, can actually coexist. And that felt so impossible to me. And it felt like there was an ingredient missing, like that something was missing in the DNA of the two of us. And so it felt like the story was about a quest to find that missing thing, that missing piece, which the best way I could describe it, felt like it would have had to have been buried very deep down.
Do the tapes play any kind of a role? Is there a connection between these two movies, or more of a connection between? Or is it a connection between Robert Stone Jordan?
Yeah, I don't know that the tapes do. I mean, here's how the tapes, if you look at the movie, there are two very key moments where Leon Russell music plays. And the reason that Leon Russell music plays is that was obviously something really important to my father. You know, he cared about Leon. He loved his music, and as I have said, I came to believe him that he actually had a relationship with this guy that at first I thought was just nonsense. But Leon was really, really important to Bob, and so when I made a movie about my relationship with Bob or about Bob, it was really important that Leon have a piece in it, and the piece that he has is I think really important. I use two songs. One is "Roll Away the Stone," which is, you know, very much a resurrection song, and what I was trying to write about is, you know, this idea of a relationship being resurrected that was dead, that, you know, and this person that was dead coming back to life in the person of my father. So "Roll Away the Stone" was the first song, and I picked it, oddly enough, just because I loved the beat of it. I loved how it kicked in, and then after I put it into the movie, I actually heard the words, and I was completely fucking blown away, because I had no idea I picked a resurrection song to stick in here. And the next song is, you know, the song at the end of the movie, which is "Song for You," which is, you know, a very tender composition, and it's probably the most poignant moment in the movie. And again, it made sense that would that moment would include Leon if I were making a movie about Bob. In that sense, it's related to the tapes.
And he talked about this Leon concert all the time.
He talked about it regularly. I mean, he almost like an old general talks about a battle. And, you know, I remember when the pygmies, he would trot it out any chance he could. And clearly it was an important milestone in his life. You know.
I can relate to that, because I think of this project as sort of the glue of my life, because it's been this quest to try and restore it back to some of its former dignity and glory where it deserves.
We're from Boone. We go to Appalachian State University.
How long have you been here?
About 3 hours. We left about 4 o'clock this morning. Came down.
First concert you've seen of Leon?
It's the first one I've seen, but some of my friends are with me. They've seen him before. So, you know, we decided to come down. We've had our tickets about a month. We got them as soon as they came on sale.
What was your name?
My name's Philip Wallace.
Karen Galler.
Karen Galler.
That's good talking to you.
Okay.
Given, so.
Okay, I hope you do too.
Hi, how long have you girls been here?
Oh, I don't know. Since about 8:30.
Are you college students or
No, we're still in high school.
in high school? Locally here? Or?
Concord. Been living here.
Someone might as well do it. There's going to be any rain.
How long have you been here?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock this morning.
This morning.
Must have been mighty cold.
Yeah, it was.
We left home at 5.
Where are you from?
Graham, North Carolina.
How far away is that from here?
About 200 miles.
Yeah,
It's far.
yeah.
Hi, where are you fellas from?
Darlington.
You go to school or?
Yeah.
What are your names?
Chet. Blair.
And what do y'all think of Leon Russell?
Of who?
Leon Russell.
Who's that?
Hopefully who you're sitting out here waiting for this morning.
Oh, I thought it was Billy Preston.
Oh. Okay.
He's cool, man. He's cool.
Is this the first time you've ever seen him?
No, I saw him in Columbia.
Columbus?
Yeah, Columbia.
Oh, Columbia. Okay, you want to go down? What's your name?
Judy.
Judy. Were you from around here locally, or?
Not from Darlington.
That's about how far away? Is that the one about 100 miles away
About
from
90 miles.
What do you think of Leon Russell?
I think he's great.
Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting out here this long, right?
Who would?
San Diego.
Where are you all from?
San Diego.
Did you come up here just for the concert?
Yeah.
From San Diego?
Yeah.
What do you name?
Joe Reynolds. Doug, man. Jim Cherry. Clyde.
Yours, sir?
Tim Livingston.
What do y'all think of Leon Russell?
He's great, man. He is great.
You saw him in Columbia?
Yeah, it was. I praise it. It was okay, man.
Okay, let's go down a little further.
Let's go up here. 10 o'clock last night. You've been working since 10 o'clock last night? Yeah. Probably gonna be working a little bit longer, huh?
Yeah, till about 4 this morning.
Till about 4 this morning?
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna be doing till 4 this morning?
Taking this thing down.
Build it up, take it down.
Right.
Well, some of the problems with the stage building, what are some of the things that have happened so far?
Blisters.
Lots of
That's about it.
Okay. How much more cable we got?
That's about it there, Wilson. That's all your cord.
Okay, let's, we want to talk to these people. We only haven't got enough cable to get to more people, man.
You want to sit around and drink beer?
Yeah.
Very light there, Sam. Very light. All right. All right. Time. Let's go.
You ready?
He's going to talk to you, man. He's
Yeah, we want to talk.
Oh, wow. No, that's cool. Talk to him.
Yeah. By all means, over here. Hi, what are your folks' names?
I'm Ricky Gibson.
Wayne Lingerfeld.
Jay Lingerfeld.
Where'd you folks come from?
Belmont.
Where? Belmont. How far away is that?
It's about 10 miles, 15, so about 15 miles or so.
Have you ever seen Leon before?
That's,
What do you think of him?
I think he's great.
Buy his records?
Caine, yeah.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy yourself.
Are you the caterer?
No.
No. What do you go for?
Need to talk to me? Hey, good play.
Where'd you folks come from?
Raleigh.
How far away is it?
It's just about a 3-hour drive.
Hey, what are your names?
We slept out here last night.
Hey,
My name's John Foster.
I'm Vicky Ginsburg.
Rick Harmon.
Barbara McVeigh.
Mike Spira. What do you think of Leon Russell?
He's great. Out of state.
I've seen him before. He's good. I love him.
Seen him in person before?
Yeah, I saw him at state in Raleigh.
Concha Hockey.
I saw him in Philadelphia.
Concha Hockey.
Hey, ask me who else is going to be here, man. Right.
Hey, the only brother's going to be tonight.
Yeah.
Have you heard Leon Russell play?
No, I haven't.
Not from here?
He going to play tonight?
Yes, over here. From what I understand.
Be nice. Are they going to move that big one out here, too?
Yeah, there'll be 2 p.m.s.
I expect they ought to put the top back on that.
Yeah, it does look kind of naked without it, doesn't it?
The sun shining directly on those strings is going to knock it out of tune. That's going to happen right now? Yeah.
Well, it'll probably...
When the sun gets up so it hits a little stronger,
It'll
knock it out
probably
of
get out of tune when they pick it up and put it
No,
on the
they won't near as much as the sun will.
Okay, well, I'll tell that guy right now.
Maybe we should cover it up, huh? Yeah, cover that.